Welcome back to the Inn at the End, friends. Our troopers are already at their table, getting underway. Why don't you go join them? I'll bring you a drink.
Broken stairs, statues, pillars. It's when you first get into town if you're walking there.
Fucking love it.
I've tried to add everything. The Grand Forum that's
list.
floating, that will be a separate map. And the Trasker's Town would be a separate map.
Yeah.
It's definitely giving me a Aladdin theme, like with the things going across the city streets and stuff. The canopy thing.
Yeah, like the marketplace.
A lot of use of that that stamp, the little
Gen
fabric
Zs,
stamp.
The Gen Zs now say, you wouldn't say it's giving me Aladdin, you would just say it's giving Aladdin.
It's giving Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's giving Aladdin.
Just relax, guys. He spends his time with a 57-year-old man.
But
It's
don't
giving
wanna get their
Arabian
GDs.
Nights. Arabian Nights.
I'm very, very excited. I spent way too much time thinking about my character today and yesterday.
Dude, that mushroom forest looks awesome.
That was my recent edition.
Oh, I did
that whole
not
section,
even see that. That
all
looks sick as
glowing.
hell.
Yeah.
And the lake looks awesome.
Foggy.
The little bar cliff looks sweet.
Oh, Barcliffs, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's good, because Barcliffs is my house.
Mm-hmm.
Are you from Barcliff?
Yeah.
Nice. Which ones? I think I'll figure it out. Whatever.
The band, the belt.
The belt. Oh, I think I see it.
It's got all of the circular towers, the gold and blue, right in the center.
That?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Cool.
It's the place in the city that has all the ships that are kind of docked to it.
Okay.
Wait.
That's
How
the
do
idea.
I
Is
get
like
to
that's
that
the
It's the Beltway. It's the crossing.
The fancy one is in
the signal.
Signal only.
Mhm.
It's not on.
Oh, it's
The
an
other one
image?
is
Okay.
The one on the wiki isn't this one.
No.
I may not put that one on there because it's very big.
That's totally. Don't worry about it.
What I will probably do is just take a zoomed in one for like each of the districts or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like I know there's a lot there, but I'm still not anyway.
Oh, I did it to Lakeside. I'm no longer residing in Old Town.
Yeah, Lakeside. And that's those green buildings in the center.
And yeah, the docking spot right next to the lake is definitely. He's got a space up there and a restaurant that he always goes to and looks out over the.
I feel like
the ocean.
we better start
over the
recording because
water.
we're talking about things that could get us some connections going.
I'm recording, baby.
Oh, well.
Hey, welcome in, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is a session 0, talking about characters, talking about the map we've made for the city. Let's get this adventure started.
Yeah.
Oh, I already opened my.
I am so happy and so stoked. So, what do we want to do? We want to introduce our characters? Do we have an idea of where we are and does everybody know their character? At least the bare bones. You don't have to have a character sheet.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much ready. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't have a character sheet, but
Sure. Yeah. No. Please. We don't.
I really
need
haven't
to
thought about that aspect.
Because the big thing
the
I
part
would
of
like
the
to
game.
do
You're right. Yeah.
is get those connections, which is kind of like the end step of the character creation, but is how all your characters are connected.
Yeah.
That's
It
something we
bothered
talk
me
about.
not to fill that out. That's the one thing I still have.
Yeah.
On your sheet.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
really, that's a conversation that has to happen with all of us together. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go around introduce our characters. What do we want to what
Are we
do we
doing
want
it
to give out?
cinematic style, or are we? Are we just?
Do we want to introduce
Not
some
cinematic
of our
style.
Dry.
contacts and stuff, people that we associate with?
Let's kick it off with just the Cliff's Notes of your character, and
Yeah.
then we can kind of begin to pass off the torch and like build something.
As we like get deeper, we'll just do kind of like the surface. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
this is
if,
my character is what he does.
the intro cinematic. What information do you gain from that?
Yeah.
Like the outline, the silhouette of the character.
And we do like, where would they hang out? And we talk about I like it.
And there, shut up. Get through all those questions
No,
too.
I love it.
'Cause that'll tell me
I love the
that stuff.
enthusiasm. I also like it. I like it.
all right.
Let's start.
I'm totally ready. I'm so excited for this character. He's gonna be so cool.
Milo, go for it.
All right, so my guy, he would walk into a room. First thing you'd notice about him is there's just this aroma of tobacco that kind of just like encircles him. You hear some like clanging of wooden pipes that he has around a little dangle on his belt. They kind of sway back and forth and jingle, kind of like wind chimes almost. They just kind of knock together. You can almost tell that some of them are still kind of burning, maybe from the night before. Even he never really puts them out.
They're burning wind chimes.
No, they're
No.
pipes.
They're pipes.
burning
Oh, I
pipes.
see.
Collection of pipes
But they
I see.
jangle like wind
that
pipes.
jangle like wind chimes.
Okay.
If you guys know the smell of, I was thinking about it on the way here. I was like, red cake tobacco. Oh my god, it's that smell. That is what he smells like. It's very pungent and just it smells
much
of
like-
affluence.
Oh,
He's very well dressed in definitely finer clothes. The more you kind of look at them, you see some signets of very like modern organizations that he works for, as well as some that are like, do they still exist? Is that still a company? And then there's some that's like, what is this? Like where did this even come from? Is that even in town?
Heck yeah, and those are like charms or trinkets or like emblems. You're saying that
Yeah.
like signify work you've done with people. Hell
people that I have represented. You may have actually seen this guy before. He works in the. You know that he works with the courts, and you've even maybe heard of big cases that he worked on in the central. What would you call it?
the Grand Forum.
There's the Grand Forum, and then there's just forums that pop out all
You've
throughout
definitely
town.
seen him in forums.
Yeah.
And he's worked cases.
But like, what's one of the big ones?
The biggest one is unknown. Like you haven't.
There's
told
got to
me.
be one
That's
that
all.
we like.
Yeah,
all
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
The
what's
big
biggest one we
stuff
saw on
isn't out
TV?
in the open.
Like, what's his like defending OJ moment?
Or his
I'm not
Amber
ready for
Heard
that
or
yet.
something.
okay.
I will say something I'm thinking of as well is we've had these in not last campaign, but the first campaign I ran for you guys, magical glass, right? That you can view different magics with.
Oh yeah.
A lot of folks have magical illusion glassware just to make sure, that the things that appear, they're not being tricked. But a lot of places around town will have magical illusions that get highlighted and act almost as advertisements and signage
It's
throughout
very
town. So we have holographic, stuff.
It's like
A lot of people
advertising
have
only in
these.
infrared.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
If you take off the glasses, you don't see it. But like, you got to put the glasses on if you want to know where the
Oh, that's cool.
Dave's bar is. You go down here and down there.
Well, I
and-
love that, like in a cyberpunk sense, because it's
Yeah.
like, you know how you have to have a license to like broadcast on frequencies.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you have to have. Do you have a license to advertise in infrared?
Yeah.
You got a license to advertise in.
It's like, no, I only have abjuration. I can't do. I'm not supposed to be doing illusion magic. Don't turn me in, man.
There is one one case that you would remember is of Bill Bushnell and his takeover of a family business in the area after the leader of that group passed away, unfortunately, and he actually defended Mr. Bushnell in retrieving what he was owed from that family. So you may have actually heard of that, and it was a very
Bushnell's Millions.
Yeah, it was a very intriguing. It had a real a goat yeah moment. That's what they call it in the circles of the forums.
A goat.
Goat
yeah.
yeah. Goat yeah.
Goat yeah.
And
Love him.
this character.
Wait, are we talking like an animal goat? Yeah.
No, it's a goat yeah.
It's a goat yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to say it.
No,
I
no.
want to make sure I don't
Goat
say.
yeah. Goat yeah.
And he's this character, my character. He's the neigh of the goat yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's very into getting those moments.
Love
That
it.
kind of stuns everybody. That's where you would have seen him though.
Orating
I
at
love this so
a
much.
forum in
Okay.
town.
Also, you were describing that Bushnell thing so accurate. I was like, wait, is he talking about real life?
I'm going through like.
Real case?
I was like, is this
we all kind
Salem?
of pull from information in the world
Yeah.
and what does our reflects
Did Milo
reality.
become a lawyer for this?
He's a rather rotund man, but he has a really small head and narrow, long neck. He is a turtle man.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
Turtle man.
A fellow
Heck yeah.
chucker, eh?
Oh Lord. No. You're gonna give him lots of excuses for.
He already did this.
As far
in the
as those
spin-off.
things,
That's right.
you can tell that he is elderly, if nothing else by the clothes he's wearing, just by looking at his face. He's kind of got ashy kind of skin underneath his turtle shell exterior. If you were to try to like count the rings on his shell, you would just kind of get lost as you went deeper and deeper, and there'd still be more in there, and you would have to get like a microscope to really tell how old this turtle is. Anywhere he goes, he just has an aura of look at me, like recognize me. Definitely.
And how long has what's your character's name, and how long have they been here? Are they born and raised here?
He only remembers living here,
Okay.
but he believes that he is from somewhere else. Like his memory gets a little foggy.
Gotcha.
He doesn't necessarily remember being a child.
Okay. A name?
Oh, his name is Napoleon
Ooh.
Fiskwright.
Fisk or fist?
Fisk?
Fisk
Right.
right.
Fiskwright.
Fiskwright.
With a W in there?
Yes, with a W. People that know him call him Ollie.
I like that.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well done.
Napoleon Fisk.
Sweet.
But they call him Ollie.
Fisk.
Oh,
Ollie.
Napoleon. Ollie.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I was,
Cool.
I was trying to make the connection, but it didn't.
One of my favorite
You know,
things
have to be
is
there.
coming up with unique nicknames for names like that. It's like how I got Ben out of like Ebenezer, like it's kind of that's more
That's
of an
basically what I
obvious
did.
one than
I,
Ollie,
ju-
but
I love having characters that have 3-letter names.
yeah,
Just being able to be like,
gotcha,
that's
yeah,
them.
yeah, that's cool.
But Napoleon just fits so well for this elderly turtle.
And so,
It's yeah.
and so, is he
It's
like
stately and old sounding.
is he wealthy?
You would think so.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Milo playing
we've
close
scratched
to the
opulence
chest.
off the list.
He,
huh?
he definitely lives on the waterfront. And you definitely
Nice clothes. and-
On the waterfront?
near the waterfront.
Neither. Well, that's what I guess. Yeah. So there's the like the lake that's down below. Does he live in that forest district? But he's the overlook.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the overlook.
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
So yeah, you see the lake is way down there, but you've got like you've got
But like
paths down
the wealthy
there.
would
and
call that on the lake.
on the. I see. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I
Right.
live on the lake.
Yeah.
That's true. I will say, and with the map, there's a few that are on the lake.
He
And
doesn't
the
live there, but he goes to a restaurant that's there all the time.
heck yeah,
They
The-
know him. Like,
The merchants quarter, which is the merchants area, does have 4 sides. It's very small side does touch that lake. It's the smallest access to the lake, and they have just like built on it. Like they're like, yes,
love
this
that.
is
I wanna
we
see
are part
this.
of the lake.
Yeah.
we need to share this somewhere because it's so good.
I think as
Yeah.
we go along, we should share the sections that we're
bits.
like exploring
Yeah.
and playing in. Like,
Yeah,
because,
I'll try
like,
and make these more available. Having them on the Discord is what I'll start doing
And
more
friend of the
often.
show even was like, "Yo, where's that new map at?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's listening in
Yeah.
real time.
Casey,
yeah.
he's excited.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So who wants to go next?
Let me drop in between these just some lore that I've come up with as I've been putting Lego pieces together. The triad, which is spelled like dryad with a Y, it's a part of the trading union. It is the three big unions associated with the shipwrights. So the three different kinds of airships that come by: the aura powered ones, the elemental powered ones, and then the magic ones that just kind of like catch-all magical airships. It's the three large unions that deal with repair, maintenance, and upgrading of the ships. They're the ones that worked with the Merchants Guild to start imposing some laws and taxes upon the plateau. So that's what I ended up coming with for that group, that triad group.
I love it.
Interesting. Okay.
I love it. That's so cool.
Who's next?
I'll go then.
Okay.
Oh, if you've seen Kung Fu Panda, he basically looks like the turtle.
That's what I was
Gotcha.
thinking.
Okay.
The moment we start talking about turtles and
I was thinking of Dana Carvey. Like,
I'm also just applying Fisk from Spider-Man to this turtle.
Sure.
His big guy, wealthy appearance.
Oh, whoa! I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you said Fisk right, and I'm like, that's just Fisk.
It's just Vincent D'Onofrio as a turtle.
Hell yeah.
White suit, everything.
Vanessa.
That got me.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay, so my guy's name, Osgood Belcher. Friends call him Ozzy.
Hey.
Ozzy and Ollie.
Ozzy and Ollie.
You guys do a morning commute show.
Yeah. And I guess like if you've come to Barcliffs before and you're not exactly looking for a rowdy time, I mean, assuming this is cool with you, I only said this today. Like, can I have this tea house thing that I was talking? Did you read my email?
Not an email, no.
Well, then I'm gonna put this out there, and then he can deny it if he wants. But I have a storefront essentially where those who might not be looking for a rowdy time, they can come to Belcher's Tea House, and they can have some tea. And for those in the know,
You got that mushroom tea?
it's mushroom tea.
oh yeah.
Specifically,
I specifically like mushroom tea.
they're perfect. And specifically is because if you come to Belcher's Tea House and you see Belcher, he's like a clanker in Daggerheart rules, or I guess Warforged in D&D rules.
Forged of some sort, yeah.
But those who look closely, you can kind of see that he's got like mushrooms kind of growing. I really envision him looking a little bit, kind of has like that sort of visage. I like kind of this more skeletal type frame, and the head of the robot in Solo. You know, the mouthy robot that belongs to Lando Calrissian, and like free the robots,
Right.
and that shit. She's got like this cool circular head design, and so I can sort of envision like you can kind of see the fungus kind of poking up
Like
through.
trailing.
Yeah,
Or-
just
or
kind
is
of
it
like
It's like sticks
nodes
through.
of things.
it sticks through. Yeah, and I would
And then
envision like
grows away
yeah,
from
yeah.
it.
This is a great
Yeah.
picture right here, but I would almost envision a little bit more open maybe, and you can see maybe like
Okay.
you can see like fungus maybe like growing in the chest cavity and maybe up through the head a little bit, and it looks cool. Doesn't look weird. It looks cool.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Does she have to like shave it every so often, or?
I don't know, because here's the thing: Belcher used to just be an automaton. He was more of just like a robotic helper with no soul, no sentience or anything like this, and was left as trash in the fungal forest. And one day woke up and he was this new thing. And so Belcher likes so like I said, if you come for the teas, then you're enjoying mushroom teas. And I like to envision that I have this elderly proprietor, this old lady back there that helps, and she doesn't talk very much, but the patrons really like her because she keeps to herself down there, like we always do over in Bar Cliffs. But for those in the know, they're in the back is where all the good stuff is, and that's where if you want to trade some secrets for some goodies, you can come back and for the right secret or maybe a really juicy lie that has like the hints of a secret or truth around its outlines.
Best kind of secrets.
You can get something cool from Belcher's. So, yeah, I don't know.
I
love
know
it,
who
yeah.
would introduce me to your character too. Like I know the person that would introduce me to
Oh,
your
yeah?
character. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Who's this person?
It's my best friend, who works for a courier service. Her name is. This is why I sent these to Alex so that I wouldn't forget.
Smart.
I was wondering. It was just a list of names. Cool names.
I don't have.
Nice job.
That's a good way to do it.
It's
though.
just so easy to like just open
Yeah.
Signal and just be like type because I don't have like notes like
Right.
readily available, and it was just there, and I was like, oh, these are the names.
You know, there is a note one in Signal
Is there?
that you can just send notes to yourself. Yeah. Anyway.
Her name is Borgas Swiftdust, and she
Whoa.
works for one of the larger courier services in town.
I could see that, and I could see a courier specifically, like us being sort of intermingled in that way. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, couriers. Getting stuff from place to place in the city is big business. It's yeah.
yeah.
You're always
So-
seeing people flying around on different things. Going from place to place.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's Osgood Belcher or Ozzy. Yeah, I kind of envision that because he's really kind of, I think, he's really rooted in kind of, I don't know. I guess you would see him and you would think that he's poor. He lives in Barcliffs for one, which is a little bit more run down. It's a little bit more impoverished. I don't think he's super ashamed of his like robotic self, but when he goes out, he's doing a lot of low key stuff, and so I like to envision he's wearing like a flat cap or a patty cap like Milo's got on, high collar jacket and some gloves type situation, just trying to keep it
Very
on the
noir.
yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, there's Belcher.
I love it. Love it.
Sweet.
What other lore?
War time.
City was established, setting the timeline 500 years ago.
Oh, perfect.
Just before that was the explosion of the Trask Mountain. And it's like the Bedouina know that the mountain used to go off regularly, but like decades before it exploded, it stopped going off like in this regular cycle. And then it blew, and a third of the mountain gets destroyed, and you now see from the plateau like these magical veins in the mountain itself. And it's like now those are infusing the air and stuff around it instead of doing these natural cycles. And it's like infusing the forest, the mushroom forest, and that's when the mushroom forest started to mutate and grow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's when that kick started, was 500 years ago. Puts that place on the map, people go investigate it, and then Finnegan starts his expedition.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I wanted magic in that volcano.
Oh yeah. And so yeah, you just see like these just like multicolored like veins coming out,
dude.
and like if you get too close, it's just like humming, and it's hard to be there.
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
that's why the forest is all kind of just bonkers now.
I like that. Do you mind if I go?
Yeah, no,
Is that
not at
cool?
all.
Go ahead, Dash.
Okay.
Oh, God.
We'll have to end that.
No,
soon,
yeah,
right?
that's done with the map making.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
With the map making, that's a done deal. So, Maverick, Mav, Spree. Let's see, how far back do we want to go?
That's the part I struggled with.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to give you guys my whole backstory.
I know
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Just general, yeah. What does your character look like? What does their day-to-day
So-
life look like? What is their demeanor?
His average day would probably start with waking up in his version of a sweat after a rough night's sleep, getting up, putting on his overshirt, packing up his mace, and heading to the New Harbor. Was it called?
New Harbor, yeah,
New
which is
Harbor.
Tavern Row.
Right, Tavern Row.
Old Tavern Row is New Harbor.
He's a dock worker and
Ooh.
shipbuilder, and so
Oh.
very rough looking. He is also a clank of the Warforged type, and he looks like a rusted out iron skillet, like kind of textured as if you didn't take care of your skillet, kind of all bumpy and got a little patina on it.
There's some parts that have been patched up.
Yeah,
with,
exactly.
Some kind of metal.
I told Alex that kind of in the vein of Brandon Fraser's character in that DC movie.
Oh, yeah, the Iron Guy.
So looks very humanoid.
Doom Patrol.
Yeah,
Doom Patrol, yeah.
Thank you. Has that kind of a look. He wears like coveralls, very, very basic, sturdy, durable wear that a working class person would wear. Heads to work, works for 12 hours, works hard. When the whistle blows, he clocks out, usually heads to the tavern, hangs out there, and he has a favorite tavern, which I don't know the name of, but maybe we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out, yeah.
He has a favorite tavern because it hosts a live music performer by the name of Arya, somebody that he is kind of sort of in love with and has been for quite some time, but he's the quiet type. He's all about his work, saving his money, but he admires her from afar and thinks that she is not aware of him, kind of situation.
And she's not.
Right. Yeah.
Don't worry, she's not.
Probably not. That's exactly how he feels. And after listening to her set, he'll usually pay his tab, and then if it happens to be a weekend night, he might go into the back of the tavern where they hold fights and try to make some money. In kind of the, I don't know if it's illegal, but it's not necessarily a publicly sanctioned fight.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make up some more money, trying to save some money because he's very keen on building his own airship. And so that's kind of a focus of his. That's why he's very go to work, eat my food, watch the person I love, and then go home.
Mm-hmm.
And he's quite. He's not real sociable, but everybody respects him. He's a good worker. He always steps in for other people if they need it. That's the gist. That's
Cool.
the silhouette.
Heck yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
As far as like laws go, like I imagine this place is more into justice.
yeah,
Like I feel like there's laws like that you don't
There's-
steal
honor
there's
among
stuff.
thieves.
Very
kind of
few, like hard written laws.
Don't steal shit. Don't hurt other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
And it's like don't steal stuff from somebody who needs it. It's kind of like the idea. Like
Right.
like that's one of the
They're not gonna
one of
miss
the
it.
questions or one of the phrases I have on there is like excess goes to the pit.
Yeah.
And so there's this widespread idea that if you're hoarding something, that's valuable space that could be housing for somebody, that
Right.
could be, a business place for somebody. So if you're hoarding things, no one cares if that stuff gets stolen.
Like, why did you have that much stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why did you have
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Are you selling it soon? It's like, no, I'm going to wait like a couple years and like make profit.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no, no.
no, absolutely
That
not.
goes to
We
the
are
pit.
taking this.
That
Yeah.
explains.
It's like
then-
either it goes to the pit or I'm taking it.
that explains then why perhaps my little shop is secret.
Yeah.
And he lives. I envision him as living pretty close to where he works. Kind of maybe in a cheap, gross, dusty room above one of the taverns.
For sure,
in the
yeah.
neighborhood.
Especially, New Harbor
Yeah.
was Tavern Row and then got built on, and like a lot of the housing got taken
There's-
over.
Yeah,
by
there's probably like some
the
gentrified
harbor.
areas, and I feel like he lives in whatever
living
the
on top of
cheapest,
a tavern is
oldest,
perfect.
version is.
Heck
It's
yeah.
just, it looks like it's sepia tone because it's just all like dusty and
Mm-hmm.
gross.
Very nice.
I like that because I feel like living close to New Harbor and being kind of a smuggler type guy ish, that I'll have a lot of dealings with the actual port, the New Harbor itself, and I think that's exciting. I think that
Yeah.
opens some possibilities.
Sweet,
In
sweet.
fact, I did when I was answering some of Alex's questions. I had some thoughts about like, perhaps like I said an airship captain, but maybe a airship builder or something. We'll see.
There you go.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah. More lore before we go to Dash. What else do I have? There's the factions. I just got to look at my map because this is my reference. Oh, there's a district outside of the plateau. So the like forest district that's in the forest, that's part of the plateau proper. But outside we've got a Bedouina village that's like an outpost. The folk that want to stay near the plateau live there, and then like the nomadic larger population of them are moving throughout the greater basin region is what I'm calling the kind of larger region here.
Oh, okay.
And so the initial one is top left, like in the northwest corner of this map.
on the big map there. And then on the bottom left, just basically underneath the old harbor is where the Forgotten live. These are the people that are exiled from town. That's not part of the town, and so like the laws don't apply to them, and they don't have a lot of interaction, but they scavenge fallen stuff from the harbor. Like it started as this massive like debris pile, and they've turned it into like a little Mad Max town.
They like live off the stuff that
fell. There. Yeah, it's some of it's good stuff.
I think
right.
It's not all bad.
We don't need it.
Now the
Forgotten,
Forgotten.
it's not doing anything.
How much do the Forgotten? Because we talked about this before. They're kind of a little bit more. If you had to align them with one of the factions on the plateau.
So they're outside of the plateau. They are people that used to be on the plateau
They were kicked
that
off,
have been exiled. That no one would speak for them.
Yeah, either
is the
by
idea.
their own doing
Who
or
would
by
speak
someone.
for you?
No,
Yeah.
get out.
And it's like to be forgotten, you kind of have to be known enough that if you enter town, somebody's going to speak up, or if there's enough questions asked of you, they realize it.
Could for your questions, the cohort could the Forgotten be a good cohort that always has work available for a person like Belcher, just like not necessarily I enjoy working for them, not necessarily, but like if times get lean or whatever, I know that I got contacts I could like.
What kind of work are you into? Besides your
the
shop?
movement of things, the
Okay.
movement of excess,
Okay.
the appraisal of
I
high
see.
value and the trading of secrets.
Okay, so yeah, I do. Okay, things are starting to click.
But yeah, that's my other lore bit.
Okay.
I will say also on the map, the sections we kind of didn't put districts on. One of those that is next to the Houndstooth or Cat's Claw district. I've put a small rocky protrusion there, and there's a lighthouse there.
Oh, I like that.
So at night, this place can be seen.
Oh, cool for the airships.
And then there's a spot on the very top that's basically going to be the garbage dump that attaches to the pit. Cool. That's where the public can go and toss things into the pit. Though the folks of the displaced temple do not care much for that these days. And also, ever so often, there's dead bodies that are accumulate up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dash.
Okay, cool. So my character is an Aether Forged, a clank for the rules. If you saw him, he's interesting to look at for sure. It looks like if someone had been cobbled together using only airship parts.
Ooh.
So he's like wood with like kind of like cord like metal as the sinew between the parts and stuff, and his head it looks like a stone skull ripped from the mast of a ship. And he's got only one singular eye, and he's got 4 arms, and he wears a pilot's jacket that the sleeves are ripped off, and he's got half of an airship, like a classic wheel on the back, kind of like
what the
like this. And he was designed to kind of work on ships, but he proved very quickly that he's not very good at that because of an incident. Also, how people kind of knew that he had like sorcerer-like powers infused from his creator. He designed to basically work on the ship and the magic of ships. But he can I tell them any of that, or should I leave that?
It's up to you what you want to give
Okay.
out or play out
If it's
as we
the
play.
incident,
I'm holding on to a lot.
I'm trying to think of like
Yeah.
if we're being introduced like like Hateful Eight style.
Oh,
It's
sure,
like,
yeah.
You know,
Don't. Okay, cool.
there could be like a brief flashback, but
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
don't
I've-
give all the juice.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of Jews here, baby. So he
Give me the juice.
he lives in the belt, which is kind of like the holding area for ships waiting to dock in the main port, and it also like if there's going to be any kind of like salvaging of like decommissioned ships, that's where it's happening. And so he can't work on ships, but he can strip ships for parts, and that's what he does.
Oh, that's cool.
And he his demeanor is he's just like a really enthusiastic like child, and he tends to rush in a little too quickly, which is how the incident happened. But he's happy about the things that he salvages, and he'll show you like this is his most prized possession, and he'll say that a lot.
This
He's
is
going to say
cute.
that quite a lot.
I can
Oh,
already
yeah.
tell this is kind of a cute, intriguing
Yeah.
character.
So, yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you his name, did I?
no.
No, yeah. His name is Atticus Bolt. You can
Perfect.
call him Addy or
very,
Bolt.
Very good clank.
Yeah. So yeah, he's fun. And I think one of the experiences I was gonna have that I came up with, and I just haven't ran it by Alex yet, is I can get a little hasty, just because his tendency to kind of rush into things and be like, I can do that, and then it's not always great.
No.
oh, this
But-
is going to be interesting.
So who knows? I think he would definitely know like all of you for one reason or another.
Oh, I can
Definitely
see it
cross
already,
paths
Here,
with the shipbuilding and
shipbuilding for
yeah,
sure. One of
all
his
that.
good friends is a shipwright that I've put into my background, and he's got a sister that I also am. I've filled the whole thing out, so I got a lot of stuff to share. But
That's great.
I think that's all I'll give for now. So I
Heck
think
yeah,
it's pretty
heck
good.
yeah. Oh, what a cast of folk. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
so
I
excited.
have a lot that
I
I want to
think-
say.
I
Yeah, three
think
clinks and a
Ozzy-
turtle. Hell yeah.
I do think like Ozzy is like he's got a soft spot. I don't think he connects quite with a typical like forged, like Warforged or Forged like type thing
It
because
seems like you're trying to be more societal. Like
potentially
almost.
he's a little bit more of an outsider, but he does have a real soft spot for them, and is interested in them because he thinks that perhaps they like the traditional Warforged have something more than he has to offer, like
Right.
more than he has. But has a soft spot for like automatons and like constructs. In
They like
general.
have the soul that he wished he had.
Right. And he's like questioning,
just
like, does he even
happened to-
have a soul?
Right.
So I could see him being kind of connected to you guys just on that principle.
Mm-hmm.
But especially Junkyard Guy, like that's that's like
That's gonna become the name, Junkyard Guy.
Yeah. So real quick, per Alex's lore in Haven, and maybe after I ask this question, you can explain to the listener the different types of forged
Yeah.
people there are. You are Warforged under the Haven lore.
I don't know technically, I guess. Like
I
we
think
kind of landed on automaton.
You're automaton.
Okay.
You're a magical construct that that wasn't alive.
No soul.
Okay.
And it's the forest that has given you
Okay.
Yes.
this, or
And-
at least when you awoke in the forest, you had this sensation of
Life.
life,
Consciousness.
Yeah,
And I am, my character is a Warforged.
Yes, I think that's what we landed on with yours
okay.
was a warforged.
And yours is also a Warforged?
I'm in Aether Forged,
Aether
so
Forged. Okay.
fused it with magic and a piece of the Feywild.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
It's basically the energy of the Feywild, this like life energy, as it transfers into the material world. Aether is siphoned as
did
like
we-
a power source,
And we had an Aura Forged in a previous season.
Right.
and
with
that's
Mr. Ball.
the same
Yeah.
thing, but from the Shadowfell, as
Right.
things die and the energy is siphoned as it goes to the Shadowfell, and so it's like two sides of this coin. And then there's Warforged, which are like made from magic. These are like wizard armies. This is
Right.
the classic kind of Warforged in D&D.
And
then you've got this like life and death kind of powered ones, and then you have like automatons. These are like magically constructed gears and levers kind of things.
So I should mention that Maverick is through the Daggerheart system. He's the mixed ancestry, and he is also part Drakon or Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Um,
So you can breathe fire.
No, but there are other things that he.
Yeah, which
so
I
you have
really
armor.
love about this
Yeah.
system, being able to choose those two things and really create your own race. Because like Clank is their like word for it, but it's like, yeah, we have this, you know, like I've got a lot of different robotic like races here, and I think you guys have done a great job in using the rules to be like, this is the kind I am. This is
Right.
my flavor.
Yeah, and I kind of
Who
like,
else is mixed?
I'm mixed.
Do you want to share or do you want to keep it?
It should be obvious.
Yeah.
I'm mixed with the
fungal.
fungal.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So-
I thought about it for 2 seconds after I asked the question.
No, it's fine. 'Cause
New
it's like-
system. We don't know all the heritage is off the back of our hand.
yeah, I
It's just
just
moldy. I don't know.
I get really like I'm one of those players that's like really drawn to like the race aspect of stuff. Like I spent a lot of time with that when we were doing like that season with Ball. Like I was like, oh, the
Oh, yeah,
Air
yeah.
Genasi or whatever. I don't know
Right.
why it was like so attractive to me, and then I build my character from there. And I kind of did the same for this too. I was really attracted to some of like the cool ancestral feats or whatever you can call them. But I was like, well, in a world of everybody can fly, do I need to have fairy wings? Do I need to be able to climb? Do I
Right.
need to have frog legs and
Right.
stuff? And I liked the attractiveness of trying out some of the races from Daggerheart that we might not have necessarily existed in Haven before, right? But I was like, Alex won't care.
yeah.
Yeah, the mix of races in Haven is like it's huge. It's,
Right.
That's
it's
why I
everything.
like-
Whatever you want
I
to
like
play,
this a
you
lot.
will have a
I like this a lot
availability.
because, like, through interacting with Maverick, you would not know that he's part Dragonborn or whatever. It's part of his backstory. There's like a before Common Era, after kind of situation in his
Yeah.
life, and that will, as that kind of comes to light,
that's
will
interesting.
explain
That's interesting.
the mixed ancestry with like what appears to be just a straight up Warforged construct kind of thing. So
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I just really liked some of the racial abilities or whatever, and I was like, how do I get these ones that I really... And I was just going to play a fun girl straight up, but I was kind of like, I don't know. One of the abilities, I was like, I don't know if I need this. It could be kind of fun to mix it, get some different flavor.
I almost did a bard that was also part fungal
Yeah.
mixed ancestry, and I was thinking they would just have like the kind of skin that looked like you had just been in a bathtub for far too long.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like like a fungus.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought I definitely had character concepts for like a fungal
Mm-hmm.
idea I was bouncing around, and for like a giant cyclops.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
then I was
yeah.
like, well, I'll just make my Warforged a cyclops.
That's
There
cool.
you go,
That was a
yeah.
really cool move.
One eye, 4 arms, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of got all the weird things I want. Yeah, perfect.
And
Heck
the way
yeah.
you described kind of the wooden, limbs with the wire.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Because
that
that's
really
something
gave-
I sent to all three of you for the like forged backgrounds is like the three things that make up a mortal in Haven is you've got your mind, your body, your soul,
Yeah.
and so even the like constructed folk have that, and so
Right.
that's like your stone, some sort of crystal, and like living wood, and
I
like
love it.
taking that variation is how you can create your own.
That's cool.
That
As long as
description-
you answer those three questions, then you are a mortal with a soul that can live and breathe.
I
Yeah.
love it. That description of that particular aspect of your character, I keep thinking of like those old robots that people, I don't know, long time ago in actual history
Mhm.
would make and like try to.
I mean,
you
that's
know,
that's where we
sell-
first get automatons.
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
The
Like,
Renaissance
trying to
period
make
tinker
royalty
construction.
think that they had built this person and
Oh, yeah.
tried to dupe them into thinking like, yes, I built this being and it would move and have these simplistic features, and the
Sounds
looking
like
at
an
them
Elon party.
yeah, looking at them, they just look creepy, like Uncanny Valley times a bajillion. And so I kind of got that kind of clinking wood feel from
Oh yeah.
some of the stuff you
yeah,
were saying
yeah,
is
for sure.
creeping me out a little.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was built by a.
But he
a
sounds very endearing.
sorcerer. So
Is he very big?
He's a little tall and like lanky, but he's not like huge.
So I'm definitely picturing there's like a wing thing that like comes out of him, like the like you do
like
in
a brake
forge.
flap.
Oh,
on a-
yeah, like those, like
How he
A bellow?
breathes out of
Like
the
a bellow?
bellows. Yeah, yeah.
It's like made out of the wing pieces.
Yeah,
His head goes up. Boop, boop.
right. Yeah, I mean,
I'll take a look.
He's finding ship parts to maybe add on to him. Who knows? So
I like.
I
the
love the
variety
description
that,
of the wheel. That I was like, this is an anime in the best
oh
way.
yeah,
I was
I know.
like,
Yeah,
and you know,
it's like
in
an
all
Inuyasha character.
in all honesty, for me, I just like turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toidles.
Heck
Eh,
yeah.
look like a big toidle in a trench coat. You go on the LaGuardia, right?
I think everyone has their districts, and looking at the map, everyone is connected. I think, except you're split into two, and Midway separates the districts,
Which makes sense.
which is cool, right? So Barcliff's on the very like north east, and then New Harbor.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
You guys are neighbors, and then we go to the Belt and the
which
Lakefront
section
district.
is Barcliff's? Like if I'm looking at
Barcliff's
the map.
is
It's the top right corner.
right, but is there any
It's-
sort of natural border I can identify?
I mean, there's like a straight line.
is that that tip is Barcliff's?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That straight line looks
not
to
the neighbor,
me
just
to denote it.
not just to the southwest of it, but just
because yeah,
that.
in that little area, it is tight because New Harbor and then Barcliffs are these kind of like short sections against the cliffside, and then inside of that is the gutters, which is all the overflow.
Yeah.
Residential areas.
Dash, is there an organization that you work with primarily? Like of the factions?
Would you
is there
say
one
you're more
faction?
aligned with the trade union or
I think there's probably a faction I do kind. Yeah, I think maybe I would work for that. I don't know if Alex wants to. If we're that faction I came up with, that group inside of the belt.
Yeah, if you want to bring that up, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I do work for it's basically it's the Salvagers Union. It's basically a collection that has kind of like gained traction in the belt, you know, because there's a lot of like, you know, parts going everywhere. That's kind of what they have is ship parts, you know.
I feel like if there's a market that's big enough, there will be an industry built
Immediately
to
be
supply
built,
it
yeah.
For sure.
and it feels
Yeah.
like this is one of them. Like nobody knew that we needed a salvager, but one organically sprung up.
Well, I
and-
like that you're a ship builder and he's like a ship breaker.
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting.
Oh,
we
yeah,
got some
yeah.
bookends.
Yeah.
There's a dichotomy there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, there's a ton of like sub unions
Right.
everywhere. So there's the trading union, and then that's just kind of like the people of.
That's like a dozen
I guess-
unions in a trench coat.
Exactly,
that's-
exactly, yeah. So yeah, when we're thinking of the trade union, that's the umbrella term, and then whatever, like even down to like teeny tiny little unions that are like 12 people scattered throughout the city, or like large ones like the Triad. They're
Yeah.
all part of
Like,
that
I
same
couldn't have
umbrella.
my
so you
little
can
old
make up
lady-
new organizations as you
Okay.
wish.
I couldn't have my little old lady serving tea without being a certified member of
Right.
the tea pourers union.
right.
right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which
I mean,
do they have
that's
to pay
the
for
fear you
certification,
have
or-
is the tier pourers coming in and finding out, not the trade union
Right.
specifically. Like if somebody comes in, there's like, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that, but I'm not going to say anything.
Right, yeah.
Would-
And it's like, especially operating in bar cliffs, like, you know, I know things are a little seedier there, but like a lot of reputable businesses moved from the Tavern District to Barcliffs when the new harbor was put in. And so, like, you had a lot of people who brought that influx of respectability. It was like, well, we do things by the book. And, like, yeah, maybe we...
and you
It is like it's a
flirt that
different
line.
book here.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like each district is going to have like its own kind of like, you know, culture and morals, and what you can and can't do is going to be a little different in each place.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about where I live. It's definitely more on the affluent side. It's like a kind of like a suburb of like the main city, and like there's a lot of like people.
Are you in, like, the financial district?
Basically,
Is that what we
kind of
call
the
that?
way I imagine the Lakeview, Lake Terrace. Like,
Yeah, the
Lakeview.
the lakefront or the lake overlook is the
Overlook.
name
Look
we
at
gave
our
it.
drawing.
It is, yeah, I'm imagining it as that's where like the more affluent business people go. They live there, they have businesses there. that's where they like to go and do their business.
More of like a service based kind of like
Yeah.
place, where you're gonna have.
You got the masseuses.
Are you? Is he? Wait. Oh, so
like
he's
like an arbiter or
So he's more in the middle.
Yeah, and that's like my primary function.
Is those kind of green buildings?
Like
Those green
I'm
noble
known
buildings.
as like this amazing
Goatya.
I'm known as this amazing Goatya, but most of my business is done behind closed doors. Like I'm working with people
Almost like a mediator.
that like I'm an arbiter.
Right.
I try to make it so we don't have to go to that level where it's out in public and
Right.
everybody is seeing this big truth
you're a
circle
great
and it has to be out
negotiator.
there. Yeah, that's what I strive for. Is I try to find common ground with people.
You make the best deals.
How often, if a dispute comes up between the trade union and the merchants guild or
See,
whatever?
I don't deal with the
Right.
trade guild and the merchants union because that is dangerous work for any lawyer.
Oh, interesting.
You don't want to be involved in that. You have to have a side. It is out of my interest.
Could somebody hire you to adjudicate? Like if they
Not
have
between them.
not
You would just say no.
okay. You would not even
Yeah,
hear.
I stay out of the trade union and the merchants guild. I wouldn't say that I don't have a side in the race.
Which side do you pick?
I mean, that's personal, private business. We don't just share our politics.
This is just meta. It's just meta. Let's just hear it.
Could I?
We
Oh,
don't
No,
just
I like
share
this.
But
I
this
like
is-
this.
but
I like
it's-
what he's doing here.
fruitful stuff to come out in game. Yeah.
Could I pitch something to Milo?
Let's hear
Just
it.
let me know how you. It's whatever. What would you say to like you? After my incident, you arbitrated for me.
Oh hell yeah!
For me.
Listen, this isn't his fault.
Oh, I love that.
And there's the whole
Cool.
client privilege that
Yeah.
But how did that happen? How did that happen? Like, did you just...
I can't wait to hear about it,
That,
to learn
that
about it.
brings interesting information. So so what I have is like there's a main courier service that I work with. They're called the Dean's Word.
Oh, cool.
It's not like Dean's like a college. It's three dudes named Dean.
Hell yeah.
And
The unknown triad, or the lesser known
the
triad.
lesser known because we haven't known.
What?
Hey, these are a bunch of guys you're here. I don't know if you want me to, like,
You guys keep going. I'll be right back.
I mean, I can go out and talk to them.
Whatever, I'll go.
I don't really want to, if I'm being honest.
They were our landscaper.
Oh, okay.
All that debris from...
all of us to come out?
I'm a landscaper as well. I can talk talk business.
You
with
could,
you.
you could arbitrate.
I could arbitrate. Yeah, if you need a third party.
I know how to listen to people yell, so it's cool. It's cool.
Did he stop the recording?
No, he
said
to
keep going.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Is there a red light or anything that tells us that it's still going?
I don't know.
I
can't
want
see
to
it from
to
here.
get Rhett's input on the ideas that we're coming up with. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna wait.
I mean, we can start taking a look at our connections. On the character sheets, there's connections it asks you for. And we can start talking about those.
And I
ones.
mean, that's a really easy way to connect with my character is if you need arbitration or if you need an actual lawyer.
And,
I like
and I'll say, even after that initial incident, you have arbitrated for me probably several times.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
I know you at this point, and I'm like, it happens, and it's not his fault. He was built this way.
He was built this way. Oh, boy.
maybe he's born
So
with it.
I'm going to become Ben, and you're going to become Ace.
great.
This is good.
You're a bard, yes, Milo.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Bart.
Yeah, your
Wordsmith.
connections to think about are what made you realize we were going to be such good friends with someone. What do I do that annoys you, and why do you grab my hand at night? Those are the questions it asks for that class.
It's like, why do you keep getting in trouble? It's like, why do I always get this call for you, and I have to go and deal with it? And it's fine. It's fine. You always pay your bills. You're courteous about the incident that occurred, and you're open about it, which I appreciate, because some
Yeah.
people try to lie, and I can catch those lies pretty easily. Like I'm trained in body language for sure, even of Warforge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Form language.
Man, I gotta kick out your characters' old names out of my head because I was about to say Simon, but Caleb now.
Yeah, I'll answer to.
right. I may. So if you want, keep on your toes.
Ozzy and
What's
Ollie is kicking
the
my
class
butt.
that you're going with?
Warrior Slayer sub.
Warrior.
Yeah, Bard Wordsmith, obviously. But I do want to make it
Warrior,
like
there we are.
a lawyer class.
Yeah.
cool.
And I'm thinking the arbitration part of it was like something to do with finding common ground with people and making helping both parties be happy with the outcome.
Right.
Is kind of like the idea that I want to go, because I don't see like he's a lawyer, but here like lawyers are for like actual justice,
Right.
where they're not trying.
I
to
do
win
think,
a
the
side.
arbiter term for this, I think, is so good
Yeah.
because it's not about like sticking to any laws, because there are like two laws on the books, and it's the contract. It's like one contract and another contract, and those are the only laws.
Oh, you need to tell the audience about that contract. 'cause
Oh, I
that's
should.
Amazing.
Yeah, just to get our legalese sorted. Finnegan's original contract is two contracts. One with the Merchant Consortium, and the consortium is the broader. That's the outside influence. If I use that term, consortium, that's people that are not here. Those are the other like 4 nations that they deal with.
They wish to use the port.
That want to use the port, yeah. So the original contract provides a loan to Finnegan to supply all the building materials and whatever else is needed. There's trading rights set up with all these different nations and merchants guilds. And what else? Merchant guilds. I mean, those are the big things. He needed the money, and then he wanted to make sure that there was no difficulties in having ships come in and leave. Then there's the trading union, basically the agreement between Finnegan's company and the employees of the company, and it details how all of the profits that Finnegan receives from this venture will be paid to the union first, and he receives a annual 1 gold salary.
Love it.
Part of the consortium contract stipulates that no other contracts will be honored, recognized on the plateau until he pays back the loan amount. And so he's paying 1 gold a year from the beginning of this.
Now, was this like a clever move that he did? Or
This is a clever
So
move.
the thing that gets me is it's with interest.
Right. Because that's the other thing is
can't be outpacing
the
it,
consortium was trying to push him against the wall and like, oh, we're going to make so much money off of him. We're going to charge like, for every gold we give you, Finnegan, you're having to pay back us 10 to 20 based on what we think it's going to take you to pay this back. And so,
And it's become like this thing of pride.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll pay your gold.
I love that
I'll pay the gold, yeah.
every year on the eve of like the founding of the Rock or whatever, Finnegan's Rest, like we all like have pins that are just a gold coin.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing. There's a parade from the ship to the gold tower to pay that singular gold. And so they go around the city doing this, and everyone sees and they cheer for this, and they throw gold on. They throw their single gold, and they're like, "Here, use my gold." Is the idea, and like people take
reverse
pride
Wait, and
in this.
who gets to hand the gold in? For
There's
the thing?
there's a high-ranking member of the union that does it.
Nice, okay.
And so like the union has like it has its own structures as well, and so this is kind of one of the things they do.
I don't like those structures though. What the hell?
There's structures. I mean,
Vertical?
I was trying to
I
figure
don't
out.
like this.
I was trying to figure out like a dock
Always
workers
gotta be a
union.
structure.
it's all in the bylaws. So
don't necessarily make more
these
money or
these two
anything.
contracts make it so they are the only thing that carries any weight here, and. So this annual event, they go pay their gold, and then they find out like, oh, the interest has gone up by 20,000 gold. And
When are they gonna be like, this comes due? I feel like
No, it doesn't. because that's not in the contract.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like if they wanted to make changes to it, if they wanted to amend it, if they want to bring in new things, if they want to like
pay it off.
have a judge look at it, it's like, well, they're not here, and if they're here, then no other laws apply except for these two contracts,
And they're binding by that law.
Yeah.
By paying.
Yeah, and so these you can go like anyone can go look at these. They're in the captain's quarters of Finnegan's original ship. No one has been able to break into it, though many have tried.
Oh no.
The Merchant Guild wants to try and take it so that they can change things, because like there's some magic in the contracts that make things really just not work well, and so that's kind of the basis of this lawless thing. Was like, well, these are the things that matter, and it's like we have the trading rights, the labor union has its bylaws. This is how we interact with the outside. But here on the plateau, we have to trust each other by our word.
Yeah.
And we largely
Because that's
do.
the only law that exists.
Those are that's the only law that exists. Yeah, and so but it's only on top of the plateau, and so that's why when you venture outside, it starts to get a little hazy. So the Forgotten may work with the Merchants Guild to do things. They may have like legal law contracts,
And the merchants, they throw out these contracts all the time, and people are just like, "What? No."
it's like I need you to sign this. It's like I'm not signing anything,
That doesn't make any
or I
sense.
will, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because contract doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
like
The
that.
only headway is with the triad. So those large labor,
The Dean Triad or
the larger triad,
Okay.
the shipwright triad.
Okay.
They have made some agreements with the consortium to impose some taxes on the levying of ships, and have started funneling some money into the repayment of that debt. It is still millennia away at this rate, but that's where the
I
politics of
absolutely
that kind of stay.
Love that lore, and it's so connected.
It's so
to reality,
charming too. It's so charming.
It's like we have these trillions of dollars.
I love that for
They'll
once.
never get paid.
I love that for once, a contract was used to rat fuck somebody in a cool, fun way,
Yeah.
and not the low man on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, if that's how you want to do the contract.
Yeah, and I think the exorbitant interest rates is what blinded them to any sort of loopholes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna
like,
never
you know
sign
what?
this.
It might take them 10 years, but after that, we're going to clean house.
And I love-
and
I
then
love
10
the
years
idea-
later, and 10 gold into the
No.
repayment, they're like, shit.
And I love the idea too that this was it was done as some sort of committee. They might have met Finnegan once.
Yeah.
They didn't
Oh,
include
yeah, yeah.
They're
him.
like, we're gonna screw over this guy.
He didn't have to ham it up and be like, oh well, I don't know, I should talk to my lawyers. He was just barely involved.
He's like, no, if you pay me gold, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we're going to get all of the profits that you make
Yeah.
until you're paid off. And then you can make as much as you want. It's
Well,
like,
I will
what
pay
if I
you
don't care about
100%
profits?
of
What
my
if I
profit.
don't care to make any money?
That is so.
Like,
I
we
fucking
forgot
love
that great is not
Universal.
universal.
Yeah.
Oh, and how hopeful for us
Yeah.
players.
Right?
Yeah.
Greed is not universal.
So the three deans, there are three guys of very different backgrounds who have started this
Courier service.
courier service. The Bogas or Bogars,
Barghest?
Barghest. No,
No, because that's
you
a
mean the
cyberpunk
Bedouina? Yeah.
Borges
gang.
Borges Swiftdust. She works for this organization.
okay.
And I do enjoy listening to little stories. I often will hang out with her and her friends. It's one of the few times where I go to the bars outside of the Lake Crest. We're gonna come up with a
Lakeview.
solid
Lake Overlook.
Lake Overlook.
But yeah, whatever. Lakewood, yeah.
It's the lake.
If it says lake, then we probably
We
know. Upper
where
Lake.
that's- Upper Lake.
The Upper Lake District and the Lower
Because
Lake
we're
District.
high class up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do also trade in secrets a little bit. I'm interested in some of the comings and goings of different organizations in the Highrock.
See, and that's useful to Ozzy. The reason it's a tea house is because it's a place where you can spill the tea.
Oh.
And I feel, though, I should warn you that perhaps even if Belgas
Bargas.
Borgas.
Borgas.
Even if Borgas, who has been a regular, even if Borgas,
She's my girl, all right?
even if Borgas, who has been a regular at
It's another
Belcher's,
brooch situation.
it really is. Our nice Sarah.
Yeah.
Nice, Sarah.
If Borgas has been a regular at Belcher's for a long time, this is a woman, right?
Yes.
She's probably seen like my proprietor start as a well, I don't know how old this person is, but my proprietor's been there a long time. She's an old woman now. But it challenges you as a fancy person because there's no chairs. You have to sit on the floor.
No, I'm like holding my staff to my chest.
You never sit.
And I'm like, it's dirty down there.
I do have pillows and I have stuff like that.
I do like pillows.
It's chill. It's a
I'm definitely
nice vibe.
hanging out in hookah lounges. So
It's like a hookah lounge, but you just drink tea out of little cups.
Yeah.
And the old lady comes
as long as
around.
It's mushroom tea. I'm very happy.
It's mushroom tea, man, and it's harvested from mushrooms straight out of the forest.
Heck yeah.
So, and in fact, we probably grow some of those mushrooms or cultivate them in the back too.
Shave them off your face.
I don't know about that.
You don't want those. You don't want the face mushrooms.
You're
Yeah, I don't know
insisting
that I
on
would-
my face mushrooms, but I'm gonna tell you,
I mean, I'm curious about
I
it.
think Ozzy likes to keep his face mushrooms right where they are.
Let's try and answer 2 connection questions apiece for
Okay.
everybody. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
To
Let's
try
do it.
and get everyone kind of connected. What I'll have you all do together, I think at the end of this is to begin. I want you guys to come up with a plan that you all put together for like a big job, like some massive, windfall of a job that, spoiler warning, will not go well. It's not going to happen, but you're shooting for the sky.
Okay.
But yeah, let's establish connections first with how everybody knows each other.
Thanks for dropping by, friend. In the meantime, you can also leave our bartenders and troopers a tip over at patreon.com/in@the-end. We hope to see you here next week. Until then, grab your sword and keep on adventuring.